So what does sustainability mean to you?
Sustainability means to me using resources wisely so that they don't have to be compromised for future generations.
Promoting a group effort to take care of our planet and also take care of ourselves without misusing or mistreating the resources that we're already given.
Being eco-friendly and environmentally conscious.
Treating people and the environment with equal importance.
Reducing our current carbon and gas emissions and switching to green energy sources.
Being able to reuse our energy or creating technology that makes everything reusable.
Carpooling to work or having a compost instead of just throwing it in the trash.
It's using our resources now in a way that doesn't jeopardize the potential for the people of the future to meet their needs.
Using materials and energy to make things that doesn't detract from our world.
Sustainability can be considered a loose term, meaning what may be sustainable to one person may not necessarily be sustainable to the next. And even though there's a lot of discrepancy on what is sustainable, the common definition of sustainability itself comes from the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969, which states, quote, "To create and maintain conditions under which man and nature can exist in productive harmony, and fulfill the social, economic, and other requirements of present and future generations." This definition really takes into account the three factors that come into play when you're looking at sustainable design, which are the environmental, economic, and social dimensions. Now, these dimensions can be understood and specialized in a way that we can apply them to real-world projects, so solar farms or fight blight projects, or in my site's example, a community garden. The site I chose is the Arborview neighborhood of Belcamp, Maryland, and the reason I chose this site was because of my personal ties to it. From when I was born until when I turned 4 years old, my family and I lived here in a small town note. And a 4-minute walk from my house brought me to a small clearing that had not been developed, and in the middle of the clearing was a large tree, which trunk split into 2 separate chunks and allowed for me to hop between. When my grandma would visit me from Boston, she would take me here and we quickly started referring to the place as the Camel Tree. After my family moved out of the neighborhood, I did not return for many years. When I finally did come back to the Camel Tree, I was saddened to see that one of the trunks had fallen, and the space around the tree was littered with trash and broken toys. Another thing I noted was that there was no one using the space, and after walking around the neighborhood, I realized I did not see anyone outside walking or talking with other neighbors either. With the realization that something needed to be done to transform this space of land into a sense of place again, I thought it would be a wise idea to implement a community garden by the Camel Tree. Not only is this a green project, but it also helps bring the community together and can help promote social interactions. The good thing about a community garden is that it's relatively cheap to implement, easy to maintain, and does not exclude anyone from participating in growing plants and taking care of the garden itself. Now, to ensure that the community garden implemented would be a success, the first step would be to devise a plan of where the garden will be placed and how large it will be. After a plan is drafted, it would be wise to go around the community to gather support and raise awareness for the project. The next step would be going to the local government and speaking to city officials and representatives about the plan and seeing if it would be allowed on this undeveloped plot of land and if funding would be received from the city. If the city would not fund the project, then receiving personal donations would be the most appropriate step forward. After funding has been completed, it would then be time for the digging to start and planting to begin.
A community garden, I think, would be so beneficial to a local area because having a common goal always unites people, and if everyone can also profit from it, then everyone is incentivized to also contribute to the effort.
I think a sustainable community garden would help with local community because it would bring them closer together and have them working and striving towards a common goal that would just foster collaboration and just benefit everybody.
Right now, the corner of Yale Avenue is just being used as a waste of space. It's not well maintained, there's very few trees, the grass is torn up, it just doesn't look good. I feel that by making a tranquility garden, it will transform this space into a beautiful location. The reason why I wanted to create a tranquility garden is because I personally get very stressed out from school, and I know my friends do as well. Coming from New York City, I don't really get the chance to surround myself with nature, and I'm constantly listening to the sounds of cars driving by and the bustling of the city that never sleeps. Although I can find my peace among all the noise, the idea of creating a tranquility garden separated from the outside world and disconnected from loud noises and stressed out people caught my imagination. From personal experience, I can tell you that doing work stressed out just produces a lower quality of work. I want this tranquility garden to be a place where you could stop by either on your way to a test or on your way to a big presentation, or come to after a tough day of classes, and just take a deep breath, relax, and recollect yourself, my Tranquility Garden will be filled with flowers that were specifically chosen for their relaxing qualities. I wanted to include a surround sound music system which is entirely solar powered. On top of that, I want to have benches and hammocks that people can sit back and relax.
I think a Tranquility Garden would be great for the space because it'll serve as a place for people to come and just wind down, relax after tests, after school, hang out with their friends.
A Tranquility Garden is a great idea for this location. The current piece of land doesn't look nice, and I feel that a Tranquility Garden will not only be beautiful for the surrounding area, but will also create a space that students will like to go to and enjoy spending their time.
Fredericktown Mall currently sits on almost 48 acres of what is mostly wasted space. But I believe there is hope. With the collaboration of the city and private partners, the currently untapped potential can be utilized. I propose that Fredericktown Mall be redeveloped into a mixed-use, community-oriented town center. The area will draw people and families from all backgrounds and walks of life. We can achieve this with little to no disruption of the current businesses that operate on site. We will begin by adding 4 mixed-use retail and residential buildings on the property. We will widen the sidewalks to encourage more pedestrian traffic and social interaction. The addition of retail and restaurants will bring new jobs to West Frederick. At the very heart of the center will be a community-focused space. There will be a play area for parents to bring their children, while they too can socialize and get some much-needed adult conversation. A walkable lawn area will surround the playground, inviting visitors and residents to lounge, have picnics, or even listen to one of the many concerts that will be held here. Apartments and condos will be available above the many retail shops and restaurants, providing every convenience of life just a few steps out your front door. A variety of entertainment will continue to draw patronage from all over the county. Cinebistro will offer dine-in movies, bowling, and pool tables for a great night out with friends or family. At the community center, the stage can be used for roller skating in the summer or an ice rink in the winter. A multi-level parking complex will be added next to Cinebistro for ease of access and to replace the open parking areas that will be redeveloped. Parking areas will still be available on the street and at Boscov's and Home Depot. Frederick and its citizens' lives will improve, and we will once again make the Golden Mile shine bright.
I think it would be a good walking community, walking neighborhood where you have businesses and homes there, so you could easily get to your job, and a couple of playgrounds would be good as well.
Make it more of a small business oriented thing, like a open air mall type deal about small businesses.
Probably something like a pool or a roller skating rink, something that people, like a community, can interact in.
I would prefer to see some entertainment offerings put in there. I think something like a movie theater, something to bring people out, something to have fun.
My project is on the Cambridge community here on North Campus. The community has a reputation for being one of the most undesired communities to live in on North Campus, given that the dorms are old and maybe even run down, and that there's nothing really to do here. Some of my ideas for making the community a little bit more lively are to add some more green material to the courtyard so that the view isn't so bland from the bricks and the cement that are out there, and updating the buildings so that the residents want to spend more of their time in the community. Maybe they'll even want to stay for more than just their freshman year, which might help pass down to the incoming classes that the Cambridge community really is a good place to live. We learned in class that our brick dorms may not have been the best idea in terms of being green, to build them that way, but I think that updating the interior and finding more sustainable ways to maybe heat, cool, or prevent the residents from wasting water would be a big help in 1, marketing the community, and 2, creating a sense of pride about the community.
I think Cambridge's renovation is really going to help people feel a little bit better about living there. think it'll make the community look nicer overall. Make more people want to hang out outside, do their homework outside, and not probably be embarrassed by showing other people the community.
Cabin John Shopping Center is situated along two major roadways, Seven Locks Road and Tuckerman Lane. This picture shown is the entrance from the Seven Locks roadway. As you can see, there's a Sunoco situated right next door, and the mall appears very small, outdated, and cozy. It's almost 50 years old now. As you can see in this image, this is one of my major problems with Cabin John Mall. There's way too much empty, unused parking space that could be better utilized as, say, a park, open seating for restaurants, fountains, walkways, places for people to meet and congregate and enjoy themselves as they're shopping, dining, and so on. In this image, you can see an empty, abandoned store that has yet to be leased for almost 6 months now. This might be due to the fact that the stores are small, cramped, outdated, and this does not give a very good public image from either the parking lot or the street. Cabin John Shopping Center services a large community and even has a neighborhood backing right up to it, as you can see with this community pool. This offers a lot of opportunity for people to come in with their families and spend time, sit down, walk instead of drive, enjoy their meals, maybe a park, to entertain them instead of just having people come shop and leave. This is an image of a center that I would hope Cabin John Shopping Center can emulate if redone in my image. It's a place where kids can run around, play, enjoy themselves, parents can watch either while they eat or while they're enjoying themselves on a bench. It's a great local place to dine, shop, and commune. It would bring the community together instead of sending them to other areas of Maryland and the District of Columbia, taking business out of the local economy and fracturing the local social aspects.
I think it's just not a really good environment for people my age or people like 18 to 22. So I think it just needs to be a little updated.
As growing up through the years, looking at little things that I guess could be improved was spacing, and since there's a lot of food places to eat at, you want to utilize those places and maybe like sit down, relax, eat. Maybe outside restaurants could improve through some of the places that are there.